Namaste everyone. My name is Nirvana Thakur. I am 2019 Teach for Nepal's English Fellow. Currently, I am teaching at Sri Ratna Secondary School in Thanau district. I was born and raised in Nepal. I studied in Nepal until 5th grade. After that, I immigrated to United States with my family and received all my education up to my bachelor's in the United States. Well, there are two reasons behind leaving US and coming to teach in Nepal. The first reason is that I always knew I wanted to work in Nepal, but exactly where and in which field I was not very sure about. During the earthquake, I came to Nepal to work with Sathi Sanstha, and that is when I realized that I would like to come to Nepal and work here. But why teaching? Well, that's where the second reason comes in. My father always had an issue with the education system in Nepal, and that is one of the reasons why we moved to the United States for my education. So I wanted to find out why and why couldn't I get as good of an education in Nepal as I did in US? Or why did my family doubt the education system here? So I wanted to work within the grassroots and find out about the community here, and that is the reason I came back. I think there are a lot of differences between education system in rural areas and in urban areas in Nepal, but within my experience in the past 1.5 years in the place that I am doing my fellowship in, I find that the major difference is the monitoring of schools in rural areas. The municipalities here do not monitor schools as much. There's not a lot of competition between schools. Therefore, administration does not work as diligently or as efficiently as it should, since no one is watching them. So I think that's a big difference in why or how school works between these two areas. I think there's many things we can do to improve the education system in Nepal, from the grassroots level to policy level. But in my opinion, the main thing is to understand the demand and supply system of education system in Nepal. Whereas we're working to supply the right teachers, more quality education, right? To give access to children in rural areas, like building schools in rural areas so students don't have to travel so far. But I think we also have to work within the demand system. So we came here, the three of us came here, and we're teaching students. We are doing our best, but I think a lot of times what we're missing is that families don't want to send their kids to school. They don't see education as important, right? So what do we do to change that? Not only focus on education itself, but what can we do to change the demand of education, right? Because we can all agree that education is useful in the future, and it is the way to a brighter future, but not everyone understands that. And I think that is very important to understand, especially, and build policies that puts the supply and demand at equilibrium. I think that is a very big question, because I don't have a major dream that this is my dream in life. But I think something that I would like to do in the future is to expand the knowledge of foreign relations and international relations in Nepal, and to bring that subject so we can understand it more deeply and work better in international relations. Well, my ultimate goal or my ultimate plan is to permanently live in Nepal and work here. But since my family and everyone is in US, I will travel there, maybe complete my studies there, but my plan is to stay in Nepal and continue working here. Something that I would like to tell youngsters or people, younger people of today's generation, is that don't believe in the stereotypes so fast and don't act on the stereotypes that you hear, but rather dive deep within the grassroots and within your community to find a solution to the problems. Like, for example, there's the stereotypes we'd always be hearing is that the kids in the villages will not be able to study as well, even if you try, or will not do as well as the kids in private school or kids in urban areas. But instead of believing those stereotypes and acting upon them, come and find the knowledge for yourself, right? And then only you will know what to do.